Hello. The movie that I watched was called A Fall from Grace. It is a Tyler Perry movie and it came out in 2020. In this movie, you have a very godly woman who has been divorced and finds herself romantically lonely. Um, so she talks a lot to her best friend about it, and her friend encourages her to go out. Well, when going out, she ends up meeting a man, and they fall very quickly in love and end up getting married. She says that it's the happiest she's ever been. He's the most amazing man she's ever met, um, and she's very very happy. Well, then all of a sudden things take a turn, and she ends up being accused of her husband's murder. So taking she's asking to take a plea deal because and saying she's guilty because she doesn't want the people close to her getting into any trouble. She's willing to go to prison for life if it means keeping everybody close to her safe, especially her son. So, she's given a court appointed attorney named Jasmine. Jasmine is very newly out of law school. She doesn't have a whole lot of experience, and the experience she has is her only taking cases that are going to go for a plea deal only, and she's never been to trial. She's given this case for a reason because it's not supposed to go to trial. Well, after getting to know Grace, she feels deep down in her heart that a woman like Grace couldn't have committed a crime like this. So she is doing everything she can to convince Grace not to take a plea deal, but to take it to trial because she believes that she can prove that she's innocent. And Jasmine does this by using more than just her voice, but her body language. You can see, I'm going to show you the scene here, and you'll be able to see how she uses her body language to get her point across to Grace.
I have a lot of time now. I think we have enough reasonable doubt to get that into the jury's mind. And that means an acquittal.
Did the DA take the deal?
No, listen to me. I know Sarah and your son were at the house the day he died.
Who told you that? This is my mess. I dragged them into this, and I will not let my son go to jail.
Did your son help you get rid of the body?
No, he did not, and don't you ever ask me that again.
Okay, look, my boss is gonna walk into that door any minute, and I need you to tell him that you have changed your mind and you do not want to plead.
The only thing I asked the DA to do was to put me in a prison close to my son. And you want me to jeopardize that? No.
But what if you go free?
You can't do that.
Yeah, I know I can't if you don't let me fight for you. Please, let me fight for you. I can do it.
So you can see in this scene where Jasmine doesn't use just her voice to get her point across, but instead uses a lot of her body communication, her nonverbal messages. In our DeVito text in chapter 6, page 129, it talks about body communication being the gestures you make with your body and your body's appearance. Jasmine does that here. She uses her she leans toward Grace to let her know how serious she is. She slaps the table out of frustration, at one point. So those are good examples of the way she uses her body to get her point across. On the website communicationtheory.org, underneath the message, it states that the idea conveyed through speech, facial expression, body language, tone of voice, gestures, and other verbal and nonverbal means. So Jasmine is using more than just her verbal means of communication here. She's using that, but as well, she's using a lot of nonverbal communication. She's raising her voice. She's, changing the way that her body's positioned. She's using her hand to slap the table. She wrinkles her, scrunches her face to get her point across. So she's using lots of nonverbal communication as well. On the NCBI website, Karma L. Blund talks about communication accommodation theory and says that explains how behavioral strategies such as the rate of speech, eye contact, gestures are all utilized to accommodate speech and nonverbal behavior. So, and Grace does that. She uses her speech, like I said, her speech and her nonverbal, communication ways to get her point across to Grace. So as humans, when we're communicating with other humans, we use lots of different techniques and skills to get our point across to the person we're talking to, the person receiving our message. And we can do that by using both nonverbal and verbal skills. Thank you.